So you pay, say, $100 a year per machine. So if you had 10, you pay $1,000. Now, where that $1,000, I don't know, would go, but if it would stay here locally,
Yeah. But a lot of the places, particularly small bars and
Yeah.
restaurants, when the health inspection goes through, that's they mark it down as to like how many machines that establishment has, and that's like City of Uniontown then will collect that tax or collect that fee for having machines.
now if somebody who provides, because those machines are not they're expensive,
Right.
especially so if Doc had an establishment, the state should get a third, the owner of the machine should get a third, and the third should go to the person that has. But again, that's something that our state legislators are going to have to come up with, and this is all going to be regulated. So we're going to see where that all pans out.
But
Yep.
could I throw out my
Yeah,
idea?
absolutely.
If they're going to tax it, where that money ought to go? Reduce property taxes.
We're going to see, and of course, we have our local legislators. My understanding, they wanted to keep these unskilled games not taxed. So we're going to see. We'll go. The other big news too: cell phones in schools. Go right ahead, Doc.
Well, if the three of us or anyone we know has to go to the grocery store to get meat, butter, milk, and bread and potatoes, those aren't discretionary purchases. That's to keep the family up and running.
Right.
But these games are what we call discretionary. I mean, you're not compelled to go
Right,
and
to
play
go and
them.
play 'em.
So that's like if it's entertainment, or if you had a tax on the movie ticket, well, that's the entertainment. We didn't
Right.
have to go and see that movie. And so there isn't pain attached with it. There shouldn't be a pain for anyone in that distribution scale at all.
You know, here's the thing: whoever thought you'd go into Giant Eagle and they'd have a slot machine,
Yeah.
or another restaurant, but we're going to find out. Like I said, so they have 120 days. Of course, the budget's not passed to the end of June. And speaking of other things, there was this bill just passed. Was passed with some support of the Republicans, but not our local legislators. Cell phones in school, bell to bell, keeping track of the cell phones.
Students would not be able to.
And it's ironic, this week's paper, which was Wednesday, June 17th, cell phone ban gets good reception at Uniontown School District.
Yeah, that was Ben Franklin. I
Yeah.
think they had.
So, again, my feeling is in order to get education, they're not in there to be on their cell phones.
I mean, I have no issue with
Them taking a phone to school, but it needs to be locked up.
and public safety, and it's the way they're going about it is saying like this is a distraction for the students learning, and I mean, I think that article in the paper this week points that out, but the state law that went into effect at the beginning of this month, you can't have your cell phone in use while you're driving because they say it's a distraction. Well, if it's a distraction while you're driving, isn't it a distraction for the kids trying to being educated?
And I totally agree with you, Rich. So that was some of the things that happened here in Harrisburg. And before we get into national, one thing on national, and there's so much talk about, and Rich is going to jump in, or Doc, you jump in. We all know what happened to the big reflection pool in Washington, D.C. For some reason, it went blue to green.
I didn't see any explanation about it, though.
Well, it's not blue anymore; it's
No.
green.
Yeah, it's a new meeting for MAGA. Make algae grow again.
Oh, gee.
So now, of all the money, it was a no-bid contract. It started out with what 1.4
1.4 million ended up
million
being 14
million,
It's
and
my
now
personal painter. He
Yeah.
knew him
His
personally.
pool guy.
pool guy.
Pool guy.
Now
okay.
I know this, and we could probably get Matt to find this. There's a song by Kermit the Frog. All right, you ready for this? The reflection.
You
had me at Kermit
It's
the
not
Frog.
easy to be green. So if you go down there now, you will get that. Not easy to be green by Kermit the Frog. So anybody visiting a reflection pool, that's what you're going to get. So it's green, but he blamed it on the previous administration for not
Of
taking
course.
care of the.
Must have
course.
been that.
Yeah. So the paint that they spent over, what was it, 14 million now is coming out.
Yeah.
The LG is taking over. It's green. So here we are, and Rich and I know on the national news, is it agreement? Is it what is it? What is it actually called? The 14-point plan memorandum of misunderstanding or understanding?
No, I mean, it was, one of the spins put on it was like, it's a gentleman's agreement.
Gentleman's
A
agreement.
gentleman's agreement. Now, you know what? I take issue with that because President Trump has not been a gentleman. When he was overseas, last week
The G summit,
the G summit,
G7.
he came out, and he's blaming everything again on Obama, which is not unusual. But he came out and said Obama is a stupid SOB. How's that a gentleman? And then at the UFC fight, the one wrestler came out and
Yes.
whatever the things he said about Michelle Obama are just ridiculous. And nobody stood up afterwards and say, "Oh, you're wrong." There was no John McCain moment in there, and saying like, "No, they're good people."
And of course, this week, the former president of the United States opened his library in Chicago. And of course, the only current president living wasn't there was the one and only Donald Trump.
He wasn't invited. I wonder why.
You think about that. You had President Bush, President Clinton, former President Clinton, former President Bush, former President Joe Biden.
Yep. And their wives.
And former President Obama, and the only current president of the United States wasn't there.
Well, I don't think he would have accepted an invitation to begin.
Now, I hate to interrupt you guys, but you might have a nice revelation here because not only do I have the song ready, it's not the version that Kermit the Frog did,
Okay, there's a lot of, go ahead.
but it is the version that Frank Sinatra did.
Oh,
All right,
okay.
over
Frank
here. Let's
Sinatra.
We're going to see what Frank Sinatra says about green. All right,
Listen to this.
all right, Matt.
It's not that easy being green, having to spend each day the color of the leaves. When I think it could be nice.
One of you give your headphones to
or yellow,
George and let him hear
or
this.
something
Yeah, I
much
don't know
more
what's wrong with
colorful
mine.
Yeah,
like
it's okay.
that.
Okay, let's hear it. Okay, Matt, what you got? I want to hear Frank
it's-
Sinatra.
It's not
It's good.
easy being green. It seems you blend in with so many other ordinary things.
Honey,
You ever
Matt.
thought you'd see this day where Frank Sinatra would be singing
Singing
a
a
Kermit
Kermit
the
song.
Frog song? That's-
Who got the Grammy?
What's that?
Who got the Grammy for that?
I hope Kermit got the Grammy for that. But I love that rendition. I play it on the show every chance I get.
No, never in the wildest imagination. I thought it would play today. So that's my take on a reflection pool. And of course, we know what happened with the fight last Saturday. And now, of course, with the so-called his behavior in Washington on the D.C. and
Yeah, I mean, when I saw all the stories coming out about the reflecting pool being green, I spent years in Chicago, and every St. Patty's Day, they went out and put dye in the Chicago River and turned it green between Michigan Avenue and Wabash.
thanks to the plumbers local.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. It was done by the plumbers.
Yeah, plumbers
union-
local. You have union plumbers local in
And
Chicago.
within
right?
like 2 days, the river turned to its regular color. So, like, the union people could do it. His private pool guy couldn't do it.
And of course, it wasn't going to cost us anything. So it went
Yeah.
from 1 point something million to 12 million.
No big contract.
Matt, will you have somebody on the line?
I was just about to say, I hate
Well, I
to
don't know.
interrupt.
We're going to see how this
Go ahead.
works.
Yeah,
Let me
just
see.
one of you will have to
let's
share
see.
headphones, I guess.
Okay.
But in the meantime, we are going to get to this caller here on the line on the Democratic Radio Hour. Good afternoon. How are you?
I'm good, buddy. Hey, this is Paul.
Yes, Paul.
Hey, I wanted to touch base on this skill machine stuff.
Yes.
I had called the radio station, rushed the show, and I kind of got float off like what am I talking about? And this was about a month ago. Same with the other show. But I was irritated with about that. And trust me, I like to play the machines, and I've had some big wins on them.
Okay.
So I'm not complaining, and I've also lost both ways. But anyways, I was upset because the Lincoln Radio Journal beats up on our governor all the time about these skill machines. And it's our governor who has pushed this through to try to get it under control. And I just don't understand it. If you win $4,000, I don't see anything wrong with paying the tax on it.
Well, I agree with you.
You know, all these places. Now, I belong to some clubs. I can't even tell you how many. In a personal club I belong to, it's got to be 15 or 20 up. They're all over the place.
Well, they're absolutely.
They got a bank machine right there that don't have nothing to do with the bank card. It's just for.
Get an ATM
I'll
card.
give you an example. Yeah, I won $3,800 one night. It paid my $500 payout
Yes.
and $300.
Right. You
Stuff
don't,
like that. But
and you don't get
But
taxed.
I didn't like the way people beat up on our governor over it, and our governor was just trying to. He wants our state to get their fair share in all this here, and that Lincoln Radio Journal, they just like to beat up on the Democrats. And, you know,
There's a-
sometimes they're hard to take.
Paul, like I indicated, my understanding is there's at least a minimum of 70,000, and it might be higher than that. And the state's not getting any revenue. We're losing out on these so-called skill games, and of course, the Supreme Court said they're illegal, so they have 120 days. So I would say anybody listens to the show, call your local legislator and get their take on it, because I know the two here voted in favor of the skill games.
I called Kendall Show a while back there, maybe a couple weeks ago, and I said I wouldn't be surprised if Fayette County alone, it's millions of dollars, a month or whatever. It's got to be. There's a little gas station down in Connellsville. It's got 14 machines in it. They've only got 4 gas pumps, but that's just one place in many.
Well, many, and you
They're
can just,
everywhere.
like I said, you go up Morgantown Street, and you're going to find a couple here, a couple there. Or, you want to go back to my old neighborhood in Edenborn, stop at a gas station. They're not regulated. We're losing revenue here in the Commonwealth. The money could be used back here in Fayette County.
Go to Uniontown Mall.
And
That
this-
one place. How many do they have?
And just to remind you,
It
there's
just
no
makes me wonder how they were just like turning their heads to it. Like, I don't know, it just didn't seem right. I don't know. But anyway, that's all I wanted to say. I'm glad somebody brought it up. Because they probably thought this old man don't have any idea what he's talking about. But I like to play him, don't get me wrong. But there's no skill to him, let me tell you. It's
No.
just luck.
It's like
but there's no pain
It's just luck.
on the
And
player.
if you got the money,
There's no
if you got the money to outlast it,
And those are the kind
if you
of
got the money
taxes
to
that
outlast
make it.
it, you're good.
No, you're
All
right,
right, guys,
Paul. We
thank you.
appreciate the call. Appreciate
Thank you,
you
Paul.
listening
Have
to
a
the
great
show.
day.
no, Doc. You're right on that. It's
No pain.
absolutely right.
No pain.
No pain on the player.
Or you could, if you were to put a tax in there, our tax, say, on a can or a bottle of pop, you could make it a nickel, you could make it a penny, you could make it 10, but you wouldn't be in pain in any way. You could skip it if you didn't have the dime. or
Well, here's the thing: the ones that are outside the casino, it make it easy for people. Well, especially on online gambling, they don't even have to leave the house today. But that is taxed.
Yeah.
And our state is the largest outside of Las Vegas. There's more revenue generated by gambling, legal gambling, than any other state.
Have you guys
Pennsylvania.
seen? I think I'm cool to jump in on this conversation.
go right
ahead. I didn't want to interrupt, but I just had a very because I mentioned this on my own show one day. I think Minnesota recently became the first state to like outlaw all these betting platforms. Like, like the DraftKings
Yeah,
or
yeah.
but these are like platforms where you not just bet on sports, but you can bet on like
Everything.
literally anything. Like
Yeah.
you can bet on if the weather is going to be sunny or rainy.
Yeah.
And I'm like, if you're betting on the weather or you're betting on what kind of meal you're going to be eating today, I don't know about you, but I think you might have a gambling problem.
Yeah. I mean, they bet on politics and sports games.
Rich, what else you got on the federal? I know you got some other things going.
Yeah. Do you want to do one more caller? on
Yeah,
the line?
yeah, absolutely.
All right, let's
We'll
go to another caller here on the line on the Democratic Radio Hour, and we say good afternoon to you. How you feeling today?
Oh, I feel pretty good.
Hey, Jay, what's up, brother?
Good. How you doing?
Good. I heard you on a previous show with our former rep, Mr. Mahoney, and Timmy had a great idea years ago. Now look where we're at today with school consolidation.
Yeah. I agree. Good man. We had a UFC fight on the grounds that some of our great thinkers in America used to walk: Jefferson, Madison, and Lincoln. They had to make critical decisions about the direction of the country and things like that. And then we get a guy on there, a fighter, who calls a former first lady a man.
Yeah.
Let me say this about her. She is a lawyer with 2 degrees from Princeton and Harvard. That's an accomplishment. She focused as a first lady on the health of youth and making school lunches, for instance, more healthier. And what's wrong with that when childhood obesity is a problem in this country? That was a noble cause. She also focused on, and I agree 100% with her, on focusing on higher educational opportunities for young ladies that come from impoverished backgrounds.
Right.
I agree with that. She shows up today in very impoverished communities more than anybody in this administration, current administration, does. She sold a memoir that sold over 1 million copies. Attempts to slander her or deny who she is, to me, are baseless, and those baseless efforts say far more about the people seeking attention than they do about her. The thing I always say, and I'm a big admirer of the Obamas, their light still shines bright.
Yeah.
Despite what any neocon wants to say, President Barack Obama had 75 straight months of job growth in this country. And that cannot be denied. He elevated the median income of those in the middle and working class during his administration, more than what the prior administration did, the Bush administration, and more than what the Trump administration has done. He elevated those below that were trying to rise up. And I just think the Republican Party takes a knee to Donald Trump, and that was what the most disgraceful thing that I've ever seen. I would have been upset if anything would have happened under a Democratic leadership. Somebody had said something about Barbara Bush, for instance, a woman who I think was a good woman, and I mean that from the bottom of my heart. I would have been upset. And I just wanted to share that, though. This is an accomplished lady, a lawyer with degrees from Princeton and Harvard. I don't know what this guy's done, a barroom brawler or something like that. But this was one of the biggest disgraces I've ever seen in this
I
country.
mean, if you listen to Michelle Obama's speech yesterday, I mean,
About her husband.
about her husband, and it was pretty clear who she was talking about. President Trump.
Without using his name.
She will never use his name. But you contrast what she was doing yesterday to what was going on at the UFC fight, and it's more than black and white, day and night. I just can't understand it, and why people at that UFC fight no one stood up and said, hey, there was no John McCain moment, like I said earlier.
Hey, Jay, I know you got, when you brought up about the fight, how about when Zelensky first came to the White House and they chastised him on how he was dressed, right?
Right.
Oh, yeah.
But yet those same fighters were in the same room in boxer shorts. Right.
Yeah.
So they didn't have a problem with those boxers going through where they chastised Zelensky for not having proper dress attire in the White House, right?
Yeah.
That's exactly right.
And they never went after Elon Musk for wearing a hat in there and a T-shirt that's advertising something.
And
Well, he's jealous of the Obamas. I don't know what it is. You know, he has 2 months of job growth, and that's all we hear about. Obama had 75 straight months. It's just the fact that we had a guy in the White House who elevated this country and took over at a tough time when there was a great recession, and that being President Barack Obama.
Right.
This guy, it's all about him. It's not about elevating anybody. It's protecting the wealthy, and it's all about him. That whole event was about him. It wasn't about America 250. Nobody will ever convince me of that.
That's all
I
about
thank you
him.
for your time, guys.
Oh, thank you, Jay, and have a good weekend.
Have a great weekend, Jay.
And today is, we celebrate a holiday, and we know where that's been.
Juneteenth and
Yes.
the Trump White House has never, since that was made national holiday, has never been recognized as national holiday.
So what's your take on that, Doc? I mean, he's dead silent. So, you know, what that was a Supreme Court decision that came down, I think, in Galveston, Texas.
Yeah.
And look where we're at today, what they're trying to do, and they are doing it with gerrymandering in these Republican states,
Yeah, a
keeping the
throwback.
minorities from
A
being
throwback
able
to
to be
years
elected.
ago.
Yeah.
It
Just-
took a civil war to
Right.
see justice done, and they're tossing it all away.
Yeah.
And then I talked to Rich. Rich, what did you say? Supreme Court will render all their decisions by June 30th?
Yeah, they try to get it in before July 1. Yeah.
And of course, the big one, he'll probably lose his mind when they ruled that all persons born or nationalized in the United States are subject to the jurisdiction herein or citizens of the United States of America.
Yeah.
So we're going to see where that happens.
You know what? I read stories and heard some things on cable news. The way those arguments went before,
Yeah.
the justices make their decision, I have my doubts that that is going to be upheld.
No, there ain't no way in hell they're going to go against it.
No, I think they
Oh.
may.
You think?
I think they.
Here, you read that.
I know. 14th Amendment.
14th Amendment, it's right in there. I don't know how they could rule against that is beyond me.
Yeah.
Right?
Hey, Supreme Court.
Well, we're going to see, but I guarantee when they rule against him, he'll lose his mind if he has any mind. But again, it's the Democratic Hour on WMES. Our telephone number is 724-438-4593. And of course, what was recently he wanted to eliminate all mail-in ballots,
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
right? And here's a man
absolutely.
votes by mail.
Yes.
And the Republicans in the Senate and the House are willing to go against him on that.
Like I said, it's-
Halfway.
Well, yeah,
You
but
know,
still,
they-
yeah.
you know, like we said, elections have consequences. If you don't vote, don't complain. But evidently, these people realize. I finally did. I'm just at a local gas station, not the normal one. I wonder why everybody was pulling the gas station. It was $3.99 today. I was out at past Speedy Meaties, and I wonder why everybody was pulling the gas station was $3.99.
Well, I'm glad you brought up gasoline prices. They're coming down. And that's a really good thing. I'm happy they're coming down. I don't think the price of a gallon of gas is going to go lower or even meet the pre-war price.
And it was $3.11 in Uniontown when that happened.
And why I say that is if you take a look, 2 instances. COVID-19, prices went way up. Okay, we're out of COVID. Prices have come down, but they're not at the level of pre-COVID. And the same thing with tariffs. The prices went up when the tariffs went into effect. Tariffs, they've been coming down, and prices have come down, but they're not pre-tariff.
And the courts ruled against him. They
Yeah.
were illegal.
Yeah.
All right, fellas, we got two
All
callers.
right, we'll grab these calls.
Yeah, let's go to the first
right.
of two this afternoon on the Democratic Radio Hour. Good afternoon. How are you?
Hey, good afternoon. I'm doing good. You guys?
Good.
Keeping up the word. Yep. Hey, this is Ken, guys.
Yeah, Kim. What's up, Ken?
Anyway, I don't know if you guys caught it. It was on MS Now. The name of the pool company. I guess it's a friend of his from down near Mar-a-Lago, and it's called the Greenwater Pool Company.
Yeah.
Is that what it's called?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah,
Green
yeah,
Water
seriously.
Company.
Yeah.
Greenwater Pool Company.
He's a close friend of President Trump, and he's donated to
Does
his
he have
campaign.
Kermit the Frog on the side of his truck?
Anyway, and the bottom of the pool's coming up. I don't know if you've seen the
Yeah,
flag
yes,
that
I
they
did.
have.
Yeah, they.
Yeah, and that it wasn't even the flag blue. It's some other blue, but anyway, that's
He doesn't have too many more days to fix it. It's coming up.
Apparently they didn't clean the surface before they put the paint down. Otherwise, it may have stayed a little longer. But and then with the rally, there is a rally tomorrow at Five Corners.
Well, I'm sorry. I'm glad you brought it up. So the Fayette County Democratic Women will be on Five Corners from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Go right ahead, Cam.
11 to 1. Yes. And there is some Trump supporters go by, and they're of course most of them are pissed because we're out there. But we are not the ones that put him in office. We didn't. We as true Americans and Democrats, and of course some of the other people. But anyway, we didn't vote for the felon. We didn't vote for the liar. We didn't vote for
his family to make $billions.
And his friends billion.
Yeah. The convicted felon and the liar and the pedophile. We didn't vote for him, so don't be pissed at us. If you want to get pissed at somebody, be pissed at yourself because you put him in there. We didn't.
Well,
If he wouldn't be in there, we wouldn't have this mess.
did you hear that for the 250th anniversary, he is likely to pardon 250 individuals?
Oh, yeah.
Well, I wouldn't doubt that. And the Iran deal. I don't know if there was a deal or not, but
That's not a
you can't
deal.
believe anything they say. Yeah, because J.D. Vance was supposed to go meet with somebody,
Yeah.
and that was called off.
Yeah, it's supposed to be in
then he was going to
Switzerland.
give him $300 billion was going to be released to Iran. Now, I guess that's our money from before, but anyway, he was willing to turn over $300 billion, and that's the war that we didn't win. I'm telling you, we did not win it.
Yeah, that's not
Yeah, what did we win?
that's not an unconditional surrender that he initially said it was going to be. The conditions are how the U.S.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, of course, we
Exactly.
also know the word that he was going to stop in day one, too, right?
Yeah.
Ukraine with a phone call.
Oh yeah. No wars. But he, it's just one lie after another. And I don't know how these people can believe him, but I've known what he is all along from this first time in office, and I'm sure that a lot of other people do too. But they wanted to believe that he was actually not a politician; he was a businessman. He is no businessman.
Well,
He lies about everything.
I mean, he
He
wants.
filed bankruptcy how many times? 6 times?
Yeah. Well, his casino is not
Well,
personal.
Ken, we're going to grab another call, but before you go, this and just about in with Rich, and I've said this and I'll continue to say this. I thought two things in my life I would see: a black president and a female. I got to see President Obama, but not my lifetime will I see a Republican or Democratic woman in the White House. It's just not going to happen.
I hope it
I believe.
I mean, in my lifetime, it'll probably happen, but it's not going to be in my lifetime. Ken, we appreciate the call. We're going to grab another call here.
Hey, thanks, guys. Okay, keep up the good work.
All right, have a great afternoon. And now that call is done, and now we will move on to our next caller. And good afternoon. How are you?
Oh, I'm happy as a clam.
That's how you should be on a Friday.
All right.
Yeah.
We're going to have words
That's
of
right.
wisdom, right?
Oh, absolutely, George. Absolutely.
All right, what you got for us?
Well, I'm not a big fan of Obama. He signed that Clean Power Plan, and a month later announced in our mind that they were closing us down because lack of orders and whatnot. Well, hey, that's life. George, that's the way things go. But I'm standing here right now in my half-a-company house with my UMW pension
Okay.
and Social Security and health insurance. And I have a picture on my wall of our UMW President, John L. Lewis, with the President of the United States, Harry S. Truman, and Secretary of Labor, Krug, signing our agreement in 1940, just giving us our health benefits. So hey, my hat's off to FDR and Harry S. Truman.
But I know what congressman didn't want to help the United Mine Workers here. And I probably said it many times on this show. You know who I'm talking about, Guy.
Well, maybe I'll run into him at Fiddles or something down in Brownsville one of these days. I don't know.
Well, my
Maybe
sister
we
ran
can
into
get
him
dinner.
last week.
Yeah, I mean, in this past week, he called a press conference, and where was it?
It was in Greensburg. It's a courthouse.
Yeah, he called a press conference, and he would not take questions. Now, why if you call a press conference? I mean, me as a former reporter, and I organize press conferences doing public relations. You have to take questions.
Well, I know my sister.
We're gonna get an eat. Yeah, go ahead, George.
No, my sister confronted him. He was in Uniontown last Friday at Guy's,
Yeah,
right here on Route 40.
8th Street.
Yep.
Yeah, I never go there. Their fries are too soggy. Yeah, they're too expensive too. I don't care.
But getting back to United Mine Workers, like I said, when unfortunately the bridge collapsed in the Baltimore Harbor, and this is factual.
Yeah, Cumberland sends their coal down there. Cumberland Mine sends their coal down there.
And it goes to China.
And here's the thing. He didn't call it because it was a possibility. He was talking about shutting the mine down in Greene County. There was three people called the president of the United Workers here locally. Vince Vasidis, Senator Casey, and me, while Guy Rushenthaler never called, was talking about renaming the airport in Washington, D.C. after the current president of the United States. That's what he thought about coal in the United Mine Workers of America.
Well, George, I'm about to write a letter to him, telling him to show up at the fish fry in Brownsville. You know, the Hiller one.
Right.
We need to show up there, and hey, I want him to show up at the. I think it's still open. The East Millsboro post office. You know where that is?
Yes, I do. I know.
I want to see him show.
Yeah.
I want to see him show that up there.
Well, we're going to see. We appreciate the call. Have a good weekend.
Yeah, you too, George. You gotta go cut the grass now.
Go cut your grass.
You know, one thing I want to bring up about what was going on with President Trump in the so-called deal that he made. In May, he was asked by a reporter if would he do anything to end the war or bring it to an end because of the financial harm that was causing him, the citizens in the economy here in the U.S. And he says, not even a little bit.
Yeah, think about it.
Okay.
Not a little bit.
Not even a little bit. And then they make the deal. One of his 14 points is, he didn't want to be Herbert Hoover because he knew the economy would slide down to an economic catastrophe. And that was only a matter of weeks between the differences there.
And again, the strait was open before the war.
Yep.
And of course, it was closed during the war.
Yeah.
He was supposed to take out everything on. We had a better deal under the former president of the United States, Barack Obama. We had inspectors on the ground, so they couldn't enrich their uranium.
Yeah.
And again, it cost us 13 lives, 500 and some people wounded for no reason other than his ego.
I mean, I look back the JCPOA, okay,
Obama.
Yeah.
Bringing everybody up to date. That stands for the Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action.
2 years to work out that out.
Yeah.
2
Okay.
years of hard work.
Right.
I mean,
And 5 countries signed on with the U.S. for that. Okay? 5 countries. They were, let's see, China, France, Russia, UK, and Germany.
all users, big users that
Yep.
relied on it. That's
Yeah.
the only energy they had.
Yeah, right.
now.
And then President Trump went and he tore it up in 2018. You know one of the reasons he cited as for why he needed to tear it up?
Heavens knows.
Because he said it failed to address the ballistic missile program that Iran had. And this week he's saying like, oh, it's okay for them to have ballistic missiles.
Hey, Matt, how much time we have? I have my cheaters.
Yeah.
We
About
have
5.
We have
About
4.5 minutes.
So in the next 4.5 minutes, I advise anybody that's listening to the show, please call your local representative. We have a budget. We talked about skilled games being taxed. We have about using cell phones in school. We have the legislators. Of course, she's going to have this big fundraiser, right? She has no opposition.
Yeah.
She voted against raising the minimum wage, but she wants somebody to come to her so-called big ball here, right?
Yeah.
For $250 or $75. She voted against prevailing wage off-site fabrication.
Yeah.
And of course, they're going to get an increase to $113,000 this year. You add 3% to that, or 3.5%.
Well,
You know, we asked all our legislators, have a town hall meeting, bring us up to speed on
Yeah,
what's
good
going
luck.
on in Harrisburg.
and this past week, Representative Krupa has been on the floor of the House. It's on YouTube, it's on her Facebook, and talking about this proposal about males participating in females,
Well, it's such a big problem here, right?
yeah, participating in female sports. Okay, and like, I have my questions about whether that should be allowable, but she has never stood up. I mean, if she's claiming, putting this up as like women's rights, protecting women and young girls. She's never spoken out on Epstein. She's never spoken out about the Supreme Court overturning Roe v. Wade for women. So, like, to
Too
me,
hot to handle.
pardon me?
Too hot to handle.
She couldn't take a stand on it.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, yeah, I can understand standing up for women and young girls. But, those two cases, my goodness.
So, like I said, reach out to your legislators, and again, everybody have a good, safe weekend. It's hard to believe, and I know everybody says this is June, soon to be July. Matt, we want to thank you for keeping everything straight on the show, even though we had a little problems with headset.
yeah, it's
that was
fine.
due to me, not you.
That's because he was on his elbow.
And I want to also say one of the Dave Dunaway, who does the sports for WMBS show, unfortunately had an accident. Dave, the best to you. I hope you're on the road to recovery. And
Joe?
and our Joe
yeah.
is probably coming home. He had some surgery, so we wish the best to Joe. And Doc, you got anything planned for the weekend?
Any upcoming No Kings rallies scheduled?
No, well, there
Well,
probably is one,
yeah.
because the girls will be down there at 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. They have something planned every week. So when I get some
Keep us
information this
posted on
Saturday, I'll post it here next Friday. And again, Matt, we got about a minute.
Yep.
All right, Rich, say goodbye. Doc, say goodbye. In the next minute, what we got?
Well,
We'll wrap it up.
We don't have Matt's opinion on the Pirates. I mean, TJ, we know TJ's view.
This is Bizarro World.
Yeah.
When the Pirates are doing better than my New York Metropolitans.
And how much money did the Mets put in?
Juan Soto, the billion-dollar man.
We won't forget Matt's from Long Island, but you know what? Their loss is our gain here in Fayette County. Matt, you do an outstanding
That's
job in
true.
the morning, and I sincerely mean that.
Thank you very much.
And
you guys
everybody,
are-
it's the Democratic Hour on WMBS, and we'll be taking it to the streets. Doc, thanks for coming in, Rich, and we appreciate our callers.
And
Everybody have a
remember-
great weekend.
whatever losses the Mets have, they are abdicated for the rest of the year because the Knicks won.
You have been listening to the Democratic Radio Hour, heard every Friday at 3:15, right here on 590 AM, 101.1 FM, WMBS.
Yes, indeed. And so concludes another edition of the Democratic Radio Hour here on your